and welcome to this Geeks with Kids roundtable review. Joining me today is the ever-present and cheerful Eric, and special guest, whom you may know for her funny run in our D&D show Dead Ice. Rest in peace, Dead Ice. VocalTomes, a.k.a. Brittany. Yay!
Hey,
Yay!
someone actually said the name right. It's just strange.
It's me, Mario.
Well, I only host like once a year, so...
Yeah,
I better do it right.
Dave special.
A Dave special.
Yeah. I was supposed to do this solo, but I'm actually very glad to have both of you here because I did not want to talk about this game in a vacuum. As much as I like to talk nonstop.
Vacuums are loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
How could anybody hear me?
Yeah. My kids.
Vacuums notoriously suck, and this game does not.
Yeah.
I have missed you both.
See? We try.
How you guys doing?
I'm okay.
We're going to go, as well as anyone can do in the state of the world right now.
Exactly.
The horrors will persist until morale improves.
So do I.
Luckily, Stellar Blade is here to improve our morale.
Yeah, to be honest, I just finished this game like 2 days ago, so I'm pretty happy about that.
That's good.
I can't wait until that's me. How long is it, ish?
Oh God, I did everything.
It's like 40?
Yeah.
I think it's 40.
Okay, I was
40
guessing
hours.
it's like 40 hours, so that's good. I got a few streams
I did all the side missions. I got all of
I
the.
caught all the Pokemon.
I caught all the fish. Did you not get to the fishing part yet?
I didn't even get to the fishing part, but I did see fish in the inventory, so I knew there was going to be fishing.
Yeah, the fishing part was fun.
Like in any great Japanese RPG for some fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is Korean, but still, for some reason in an Asian RPG, they're like, you gotta fish. And I'm like, fair enough.
It's just calming.
Fair enough.
Calming.
People like fish.
It's true. Especially Asians,
All right.
like me.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let me introduce the game. Following a delay from its planned release in 2023, Stellar Blade dropped for the PlayStation 5 on April 26, 2024. It's a third-person action-adventure game developed by Shift Up, which is a South Korean developer and publisher based in Seoul. And the game was published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Players control Eve, a blade-wielding soldier from a space station called The Colony. Sent to save mankind, Eve will have to contend with the monstrous Neytiba that have decimated Earth.
Wait, what was that name? Neytiba? I've never heard that game in this name in this game at all. It's not
Really?
that they say it
Every
every
2
other
seconds.
word.
Yeah.
It's every 2 seconds. They say it more than Eve, honestly.
Yeah.
It's spelled Neytiba, but they always say that Neytiba, which I think is interesting.
It's their accent. They're like, the Neytiba.
Alpha Neytiba.
Yeah.
Alpha Neytiba.
Yeah, there are a lot of interesting choices.
An elder Neytiba.
So my first question is, did you know about this game? Like, did you get sucked into the advertising? Because I feel like the advertising was very short.
Me?
Either of you.
I knew nothing about this game. I didn't even know it was coming out until we got an email about it from Sony. And they're like, can you promote this game? I was like, okay. I don't know what it is.
I was aware of it. And I had seen a trailer for it. It was either in like some PlayStation showcase or whatever, like the most, I don't know. Sometime in the last year they had like a trailer for it. And I was like, this looks really awesome. So I was like, I'm gonna check it out. So it's been on my list, and when it was gonna drop, my coworker Austin mentioned it because I was like, oh, are you playing any cool games? And he was like, well, Stellar Blade's about to come out. And I was like, oh shit, Stellar Blade. I was like, I've been waiting for that. So then I got it. I bought it the day it came out.
Yeah, I was like, huh, this game was delayed. It's got a cool name. And then Eric was like, hey, I was like, do we have any games we have to review coming up? And he's like, maybe Stellar Blade. And I was like, cool, I'll look into that. And then I feel it was like when you buy a car and then all of a sudden you see the same car everywhere. I feel like I barely, like, it never registered. And then I was like, what the hell? It's everywhere. And then, like, as soon as the game dropped, maybe there was a week of talking about it. And then they're like, they're on to other things. Like, this game didn't.
That's always how games are.
It didn't hit super hype levels. And then as soon as people were, like, after the first week, he was like, all right, we got to move on.
Rise of Ronin did the same thing. Like, it got hype really right before it, and then it just died off.
And these are solid titles. Like, this game's been in development for, I think, 6 years. Rise of the Ronin's been in development for a long time, too. Like, these are not these are not small endeavors. So we're
definitely AAA games. Yep.
I think these would Rise of the Ronin definitely, but this is kind of a new endeavor for Shift Up. They've never done they mostly do like mobile games. They actually built a new studio just for this game.
That's surprising.
Which is
like,
Makes sense.
yeah, because it was very tight. Like, I'm surprised that. Well, there are issues that I have, but
And you can tell they worked on this for a while because I was like, damn, these graphics. The opening itself, the opening to this game, I need to like clip that and put that on YouTube because I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, let's start there. Let's talk about the graphics in this game are like top tier.
Yeah.
100.
I like the water animation.
Yeah. All the animations.
You can tell by a game. I'm always running through the water and I'm like, what does the water look like? And I'm like, 10 out of 10.
The climbing animations very, very accurate. the jumping animations and physics very accurate.
Sliding down the ladder is very dramatic. I will give them that. Hair is so long.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like I didn't get any stutters or anything. Like I think it's locked at 60 maybe. And I only play on a 1080 30 FPS TV, so I'm not running in like 4K or anything like that.
It's very smooth. Like even the fighting and stuff. If there are any issues with my streams, it's like because of my like Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I never had any issues. Even like later on in the game when you get way more enemies. Yeah, nothing. I don't think I ever had any slowdowns or stutters or no pop-in or anything like that. There is no visual issues.
game-breaking bugs or anything.
Nope.
Yeah, really impressive.
Really
I mean,
smooth.
basically every AAA game has that issue right now. And this game, I would say, is on par graphically with all those games, like easily. I don't know if it's that.
Yeah, it's like Horizon level graphics.
Yeah, like I don't know if that's like an Unreal 5. I don't even know if it's. I should check out what engines it's on actually.
Unreal 47. What are we on now?
I do under. It's a proprietary. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, maybe they just built their own engine. Oh, it is
Unreal 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Which is surprising because it looks damn good for Unreal 4.
And it's not, and it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It's not on PC yet. That might change the way Sony's been doing things. And it's not on PS4, so there's I guess they just never had to contend with, a lower powered machine. So they just got to crank everything up. We are kind of getting into that era of where we're going to see what the PS5 and I guess also the Xbox Series X will be fully capable of.
What their full power can do.
Yeah.
Before they jump to a new system development.
It always takes like 2 to 3 years, I think, for us to see that. Because most of the games we get at the start of the cycle, right, are like, oh, well, that shifted from a PS4 title to a PS5 title, so it's still on older hardware, all this stuff. And yeah, this game, I mean, sometimes I'm like, that just looks real.
This game was shifted as well, right?
Yeah.
This was PS4 and Xbox One originally.
Yeah.
And then it made it
when
just
they started
PS5.
developing, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they just turned some knobs or what. But yeah, it runs super smooth. Loads pretty quick.
Yeah, they turned down the suck, put up the awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cranked the awesome up to 11.
I went from suck to blow. Baseballs.
And one of the nice things about modern consoles, or the current gen of consoles, is you get to adjust certain settings. Like we do on PC.
Yeah.
So I played probably for the first 10 hours with motion blur and chromatic aberration and all that stuff on. And then I wanted to see what it would look like without it, and I turned it off. And both look good. I mean, usually I hate motion blur in games, but I think this game is actually kind of fine.
Yeah, I think it actually adds to the game because of how anime it is.
Yeah.
So I left that motion
like
blur.
the way she flips around.
The only thing I really changed out of the initial settings was auto pickup because holding R2 to pick up shit was very annoying.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's what I need to do then. Okay, I'm gonna put on auto pickup because I do hate that.
That's funny. I've probably spent 2 hours in the options and I never noticed that.
It was under accessibility.
I always, I did go through accessibility as one of the first things I do now is when I go, because there's a lot of great options in accessibility in this game. One of the things I turned on was just automatically do QuickTime events for me. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need.
There have been a few that have caught me off guard where I'm like, oh shit, it's a quick time.
There's some fun like boss battles that have that right at the end, though.
Yeah. Oh.
Sometimes like when the video pops up, I want to start snacking, or I take a sip of my drink, so real quick, my hand's off the controller, and then next thing you know, this huge saw blade monster comes out of the ground. And it's like press square, and I'm like, fuck. And
it's not like a big like they're pointing you to this.
It's like you
little
have 3
thing.
seconds. It's like
it's just like this little icon in the middle of the thing. You're like, oh fuck, oh shit, this is a QuickTime time, not just a, not just an animation.
There's a
My
lot
favorite
of times.
QuickTime is the first one in the pod, which you
Mm.
can't. It doesn't let you open it.
I thought,
What
yeah,
am I
that was a
doing
really nice, like, wait a minute, kind of
Yeah.
messing with your
That
expectations.
that was the moment where I was like, oh, they're using the DualSense nicely with the vibration and the
Mhm.
and the
Yeah, it was like
trigger and the actual pressure on the triggers. So you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the haptics for this game
Yeah.
are pretty awesome.
very
Not
satisfying during boss fights for sure.
yes, I don't think they're like I was telling Britt before. Helldivers 2 might have the best haptic feedback of any.
100%.
That might be
Yeah.
a bar to like that's set. This game is I think an A or like a minus maybe for how good the haptics are. And I haven't played every PlayStation 5 game to feel the haptics for all of them. But as an exclusive, that's kind of something you expect, I think,
Yeah.
at this point.
The ones with the best haptics out of the games I played, obviously Astro, the demo game, um,
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Yeah.
one was the first one where I realized how good it was.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank,
Spider-Man, the web swimmer.
Spider-Man, the new one, Spider-Man 2, whatever.
Two.
And
Yeah.
then Helldivers and the new Ghost of Tsushima. That
Ooh.
is very good. They really did a good number on that.
It's on one hand, it seems like kind of a cheap way to just add this other dimension of gaming. What's the big thing right now we're about to see? They're trying to do like smell. They're trying to like release this smell.
I don't want
vision
that.
for games. Nobody
I don't know
wants
if I
that.
want to smell Stellar Blade, you know?
Right? Yeah.
Some of these weird gamer guys want to.
How many
I don't-
ruined Earths do we have to smell? But it's something that
I want to
you
be able to
only
lick a
get-
statue next game
I mean, I don't even
just to see if it's actually an enemy or not.
I don't even go to the 40X movies because I don't want shit blown in my face.
Mm.
Like I'm fine
Yeah.
with the moving chair, but not with like wind and wetness. I don't need that in a movie. I don't
You
need that in a
don't want
video
that
game.
on my
water
popcorn.
from the log ride in your mouth, eyes, or nose.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
I don't want to smell.
Not good.
I don't want to smell what a Neytiba smells like because these are like
I do
big
not.
ass
They look-
monsters.
Do they not look like shit that Nurgle would send in like 40K?
Yeah.
Like the minute I saw them, I was like, "Oh, what Warhammer stuff is this?" I was like, "Ugh, ugh."
There's a huge, obviously, it's part, it's intentional. There's a huge juxtaposition where you play this like, obviously very attractive, sensuous,
Yeah, sleek, technological.
clean
perfect.
looking, like literally shiny,
Literally shiny, yes.
person, and then the monsters you're fighting are like
There-
just
The most
awful.
grotesque.
There's a-
tentacles and claws.
There's a reason for that,
Is
and
it-
I don't know
Oh,
if
I
you're
know.
if you're in there
No, I know.
story
Is
wise.
it the gamer stuck in the basement?
No, but
They're stuck in the basement though.
they are stuck in
That's-
the-
That's
sorry.
not. Yeah, that's you're not wrong.
Is it because she's the angel and they're the devils?
Have you heard the Eidos Andros yet, Britt, in the game? That term?
She's not that far.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay, never mind. Then
She's not as far as I am, even.
I don't even know how spoilery
I
are we
just
doing in this?
recently made it to like the sanctuary city. Basically.
Oh,
don't think
oh,
we
you
did.
you
The
made
first-
it to Zion,
first-
Zion, or
Yeah, to
whatever,
Zion.
Yeah,
to
Zion.
to
Yeah.
Wish.com version of Zion, which I messaged to Dave.
Yes, literally, I thought about that for Matrix.
It's Wish.com Matrix because it also has Oracle, not Oracle. It's Oracle.
Yes,
And you're
I
like, what the
noticed
fuck
that.
is
I
this?
was like, Oracle?
I
Didn't drop a vase, isn't making cookies.
Nope.
I don't actually want to review the story that much because I don't think there is much of one.
There is. There is.
There
once
is
you
a story.
There is a
can
little
already-
bit. It's 99%
there's a
just
story.
fight monsters. Like you can.
I'm not
Have you been
surprised
reading
by
all
the ending.
documents you pick up?
It's
Yeah.
I think the best thing to say it's video game writing.
Mhm.
So it's deep. If you want to dive into it, it's there. But it's
I'm
not.
offended by that.
I
statement.
don't.
want- Quantity does not.
I
equal
am friends with
quality
video game
either.
writers.
I
okay?
think this is more anime writers because once you get to the
Mhm.
part where they're just like, let's spew out all the exposition and then tell you the story, it's like you're almost to the end and you're like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense for what has happened before, but like
Why was this? not
like
video
everything
game?
before was you leveling up. This was the 7 weeks of Dragon Balls before you get
Yeah.
to the 10-part finale.
before Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
This game has a very. I think I wrote before. I think to you, Eric, especially about this game. I draw a lot of comparisons to Metal Gear
Mhm.
because there are long cutscenes with a
Yeah.
lot of exposition.
Ah,
and
okay.
and just explaining things and all the allusions, right? Like the constant metaphors and allegories to other things.
The names are very on the nose.
Mhm.
Yes, right? Yeah.
Adam and
So-
Eve, and you're like, "Pfft, I get it.
Yeah, I don't want to say either, Eric. I don't want to say either.
I mean,
It's okay.
it'll make
And-
sense when you get to the
But the game, so surprisingly, I think there's a bunch of surprising things in the gameplay that come up because when you first start playing, maybe we'll talk. We can talk about gameplay now. Is that when you first start playing, you're like, okay, it's like a hack and slash game.
Mhm.
And then like 10 hours later, they're like, okay, we're going to add something else.
Yeah.
And then 10 hours later, we're going to add something else. And which is great. But I think the problem is if it's a 40-hour game and in the last 10 hours, you unlock one thing, but it's not the last 10 hours. Like 99% of games do that where it's like, you're fully powered. You get to do this for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This game,
Well, that's
I
like
don't think suffers
any
from that.
any RPG where you fight God like 3/4, like
Yeah.
there's the big like 3/4 the way through the game, totally everything's flipped on its head, like big reveal, and
Yeah.
then the last section you're like, we fight God in space, and you're like, we always go to space and we fight God.
Yeah,
That's
it's true. It's very accurate.
Yes.
I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
Listen, Final Fantasy X. It even happened with Tales of Arise. You leave the planet at one point, and I'm like, of course we fucking leave the planet.
Of
to, like,
course.
literally go fight God in space.
Yeah. That.
But I love it. I love every second of it. Give me all
It's-
those powers.
It's like you start, you're like, okay, this is Devil May Cry.
That's what I
you
thought
fight-
exactly.
You fight in like
Yeah,
one,
no,
it's like an
Devil May
arena
Cry.
fighter almost, and then it's like, no, it's more open than that. And then you get to no, it's more open than that. No, it's more open than
You're
that.
like,
And it just
wait a
keeps
minute.
doing that of like, no. Every time you have an expectation, it pushes past that. And I kept going like, holy shit, this is actually it's really well paced. It's really smart. It's really interesting. Like it keeps you engaged.
I like how
Always intrigued at
Yeah.
the next part.
I like that the powers don't feel like the same thing over and over again. Once you get the new set of things, you're like, oh shit, this is a new way to kick ass.
Yeah.
And then another new way to kick ass. And then when you get to the end, you're just like, oh shit, you are the god fighting, God in space or whatever.
I was very concerned.
Exactly.
Right?
You
'Cause
are the Stellar Blade. I get it now. I'm literally the Star Blade.
you start with 3 skill trees, and it's attack, survival, and beta. So it's
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like
Okay.
you're just
Or
basic
beta's beta,
combos.
yeah.
Survival is like blocking and dodging, and then beta is literally like special moves.
Mhm.
And they're not that big, and
Yeah,
it's kind of
special
easy to
attacks.
just grind through and level them up. And I thought, ooh, that's not great because it's just like there's like 10 combos or whatever. And then I was like, well, they can't have that all game. Well, then the game opens up, and now you have this other thing to add, and you get a new skill tree. And it's not just a new skill tree. Sometimes I literally talk to somebody else, and it's a whole other tree that you can level up.
Mhm.
Right? When you're in Zion, like you unlock, your whatever. I don't know.
Your
I don't even
your,
know what to call it.
matrixy
Your robot
yeah.
gun.
your robot
Yeah.
gun. I love that.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
the last part I
like-
did before I saved.
Nice.
It's very much like a kid putting like tubes on
Oh,
their
like
hands, and
like
being
their
I'm
action
gonna be a
figure toys together.
transformer.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was pretending to
They're
be
like, "I'm
Mega
gonna take
Man
my Power
as a
Ranger and
kid.
put a
Yes,
transformer on it."
exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
With every tube, like every leftover toilet paper tube and stuff. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
It's like
Good.
it's so engaging and so well paced in that regard.
It makes me not want to stop streaming, but usually I have to to go to bed for work, and I'm like, I would keep playing this game for 10 hours straight. Like 4 hours, I guess I gotta cut it off tonight.
So yeah, obviously we're all happy with the gameplay then. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not repetitive. You can actually kind of sneak around, which was kind of neat in the open world.
The issue I had with the gameplay, and I fucking hate this because this is all like games like this, is that the jumping mechanics are so fucking shoddy, or like the turning mechanics are
Oh,
so
yeah.
wide. So sometimes you'll have to like turn to go down
Sometimes
an
you just fall.
and you just fall. You just walk right off, and you're like, fucking
Yeah.
hell.
Happened
And
to
then
me, I jumped to like a
I love the timing of a
pipe, and I
packet
did it
loss.
fine, and it was just like, psh, and I literally went. I was like, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck.
there are these platforms later that like rise up and down, and you're just like,
Mhm.
okay, I guess I have to jump between all these, and you're like, dim, and then you try and
You're,
move
like,
a little
too
bit.
fast for it.
You just move a little bit so you can jump to the next one, and you're just like, bloop, and you're like, fucking hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she does that thing where she just does this like that,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
no.
Or
Why
when
do I
she-
have to run for you to like leap?
Or when she turns, she'll do like a big ass turn,
Yeah.
and you're like, nope, that's not what I wanted. I want you to just spin.
Sometimes even if you're climbing up a ladder and then you jump a little bit, she'll do this like cool flip, which looks awesome. But sometimes you're like, don't. You're like right on the edge.
I didn't have any
No.
issues like this. Maybe you guys should just get good.
Yeah, I am
You know
pretty
what?
terrible, to be
I
honest.
think there's certainly because like I'm a bit fan of Devil May Cry and stuff like that. So I think this game is like the gameplay was like right up my alley. I
It-
wouldn't call this
Mhm.
game a Souls-like.
No, this is not.
It is and it isn't.
No,
It
'cause
is
you can
sort
like
of.
grind and loop around.
Well, you have that thing
better,
where if
I
you
think.
die by a certain enemy, you go back and you get revenge. Is it revenge? Is that this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Justice.
Yeah. Let's go justice.
Sure.
Yeah, the enemies are super cool.
Varied.
Like a lot of it's just
They're
learning
very
their
cool.
attack patterns.
Yeah.
Early on, you can kind of
Especially the huge bosses.
Yeah.
Yes, but early on you kind of get away with being hyper aggressive, and then you start like fighting like the what are the clams, lobster, whatever the dudes are.
Oh, the
And-
shield ones where they look like
yeah.
ants.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
thought they
yeah,
were
yeah, those
ants, and
motherfuckers. The
apparently
shield
they're
breaker?
some other
Yeah.
crustacean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and they're probably some
Crab
like
people.
lobster
Like,
dude, but
they just kept
those guys.
annihilating me. I had no
It's
problem
because
with
of
like,
their
any other
grab.
enemy.
He'll be like, "What, bam," and
Yeah.
you're like, "I'm dead."
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
And
And you
yeah.
get the shield breaker attack, and then
It sometimes breaks the shield, but not always.
yeah, sometimes you don't get the combo in time. But what I love is the perfect fucking dodge.
Oh yeah.
Can I perfect parry for my life? Sure.
Yeah.
But a perfect dodge, blink, I only pull off half the time.
I like.
Not
I don't-
necessarily on purpose.
Yeah.
Did it, Eric? Because you're the furthest. Did it come down to the Assassin's Creed 2 style of like I just counter everything? Because that's kind of where I was getting, where I was just constantly countering. Even though I was fighting 6 or 7 enemies, I would just be like counter, kill, counter, kill, counter, kill. Maybe
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
Some of them you still have to dodge. A lot of them you have to do varied attacks.
Okay.
For the bosses near the end, I made sure I had a bunch of those little tubes that made you come back alive. You know, right there instead of going back to the save point,
Yeah.
because you're like, well, I don't know, I don't understand how I'm supposed to survive this.
You're like Phoenix down.
Phoenix down,
Phoenix
down
down.
twice, and then I'm happy. Yeah.
Wow.
Although there are points later in the game and I love that they make you feel this. You feel like a fucking badass because you can just mow
God.
down like
Mm.
a bunch of bad guys, and you're just like, yes, this is what I need to feel this far in the game. But there are
Even
still
When you
people
loop
that'll
back
just take
to
you.
earlier areas. It's so satisfying to like wipe out enemies that used to give you a hard time too.
Hmm. It's funny seeing like the mini bosses become regular enemies as well, and you're just like, oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah, like the first time you see that like weird tiger shark headed one where it's like a centaur,
Yep.
whatever with this shit. And the first time I was like, oh my god, it's like an actual boss. And then I fight like 5 of them
Yeah.
later on. Where I'm like,
And usually I just sneak up
Dodge.
behind them and kill them.
poke in the
Like
butt.
I did the stealth thing for
Yeah.
everything.
Stealth. What is it? 10,000 Years of Pain. Like Kakashi just poke in the butt.
Yeah,
It
poke in the
is-
butt.
We always like in games when we get a chance to feel like we've progressed,
Mhm.
where it's not, yes, we want to present, we want new challenges presented to us, especially with our new abilities, but having the opportunity to fight old enemies that used to make it difficult is so satisfying. I think like
Yeah, you want to enjoy it. You want
Mhm.
to feel like, I don't know. It's rough when a game's too hard, or like even if you make it through, but like the whole time it was just stressful for no
Mhm.
reason.
Mhm.
Even if you beat the game, sometimes you're like, cool, well, I beat it.
I think
I guess.
that's like classic God of War. I think it's kind of like that, where you just be like, oh my god, I can't.
love
and then you just constantly struggling. Like,
Yeah, it's just
here's
one
an
thing
even
after
harder
another.
boss fight. You're like, oh my god, that was the only game that made me put my fist through a wall when I was a teenager.
I have a question for you guys, and this is something that because I
I was gonna say for me it was Little Mermaid, Super Nintendo.
oh okay yes I do have a
You
question for
couldn't
you
fucking
guys.
save in that game. Yeah.
Because it's an open world game, there's usually a song that loops in these open worlds, and usually
Mhm.
in something like
Ooh.
Final Fantasy, it's just like dun, 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 or something like that when you're
Yeah.
trotting along. In this game, they're all like songs that just loop.
Yes.
What did you guys think of this? Was it annoying
I
to you, or
got
did you love it?
So sick of it. I got so sick of it.
I love them. But then again, I'm only like 8 hours in. I really enjoy them.
They're good the first time, but when you hear over and over again, when you're just trying to find like cans of pop around the map, that's all. You're just like, oh my god,
get that.
I just need to go around. And do this.
By the time before I got to Zion, I was sick of those songs. I think.
At least
Aw.
each main area has a different song.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you
I
can't
think I've
change
just
them.
I haven't spent too long in certain, but in the rest area you can change the
Yes.
song like where you're resting.
Yeah, I just
So I
keep
do
it.
like that.
I like the
Sometimes
elevator
I do
music
get tired
there.
of the one.
So there's
Ding,
there's
ding.
something real. They did a really good job. I know I kind of talked about pacing a little bit, but the way you would have like really intense fights, and then you find the rest area, and you can just sit and relax.
Yeah.
Not unlike a bonfire in Dark Souls. It's
I think they do it kind of like they refer to as roller coastering. It's like what they do with Horizon, where you go from a really big loop, a big fight, but you don't immediately drop it. Like it goes to a smaller loop and then back down, and then that's why you have like certain cutscenes. So when she rests in a new area, and you have a cutscene with Adam, where you talk about something, you either reflect on a boss or like what's ahead, and then like you loop back in. So it always keeps you like engaged. Like you never lose out unless you get frustrated like looking for something minor or like grinding, and then you just stop playing. So I think that's really cool.
When Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, after Kojima had been let go from Konami, he talked about that in that game, where the missions in that game were like supposed to be around 40 minutes. And this game, I think it's about, they usually play about 40 minutes and then you kind of hit a rest area.
Yeah.
That like it works really well because you build up this tension with the player, and then you have this long kind of plateau of like, oh my god, this is super intense. Your heart rate's going super, and then you can't maintain that because you're building up cortisol levels. You're building up stress in your body, and you have to relax after. You have to bring it back down and then relax. And games that don't do that are the games that like that's like Call of Duty, where you just keep going, and you get like so frustrated. But this game perfectly.
You like rage quit, but this doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time you're like, I could rage quit. It's like, oh, but I'll be back in 2 minutes. Like, you're able to relax.
Yeah.
There's a perfect.
I'll fight a boss
of,
like 2 times to assess where I'm at. Like, how far did I get their health down just in my first 2 tries? And if I got it halfway or 3/4 the way, I know, okay, let me just grind a little bit more, come back, like, because I just need to level up like a little bit more or do something else, and then usually I can get them like the next 2 times. So, I like that.
Done
so that way I don't quit before the boss, and I'm like, save the game. I'm tired.
I wish more games could figure this out for some, and I don't know why, because it's not a secret in the games industry of like how
seems like a very simple formula by now.
Well, it may be more difficult to implement, because every game is tuned differently. I think I'm playing this game. I might be playing on hard. I'm not sure. Whatever the hardest initial setting option is.
Normal.
There is a story mode. There is a story mode.
Yeah, I'm playing on normal.
Okay.
Not story.
Story mode is fun too. Like I tried it for a bit. All the counters and everything, like it slows down time and then it pops up the thing on the. Like the commands on the screen. And
so
like,
it makes it easier to like block, do perfect parry and stuff.
Sometimes when you're tired and sad at like 2 a.m. and you're playing, you're just like, I just wanna not die.
You're like story mode, please.
To be fair, those were the first upgrades I got though under the survival tree, was giving me more time to hit those perfect dodges and perfect parries.
Understandable.
But I guess because I thought story mode also made other things easier.
I'm sure it is also easier.
I might be wrong, but
because
they probably makes the enemies easier. Like, I don't know, maybe their health is less or something.
Yeah, they don't explicitly tell you. They're just like, play this mode if you want to experience the story, and play this mode if you want just like a normal, normal fight.
Most games would like lower their shields or their like initial health or something, like take something away from them to make them easier.
Enemies are considerably weaker in this mode, which means players will last much longer in the battlefield. Survivability also increases considerably thanks to an increased dodge and parry windows. There we go.
Maybe I should play on story mode.
So they just hurt you less and you can dodge better.
Yeah.
Understandable. Yeah.
So something I want to ask you about is the exploration and collectibles in this game, because there's a lot of collectibles and there's a lot of hidden secrets.
I love collecting.
Yeah.
I was not expecting
soda pop, which I didn't know about.
The cans.
The cans are amazing.
The cans are great.
Yeah. When I found my first can, like a little before Zion, I was like, oh, you can collect soda cans? I was like, this is so exciting.
They're
so silly.
There are 3 or 4 that you can't get unless you do a specific storyline. It's like it's so there are 3 endings in the game.
It's like a side quest.
Yeah. So
and by the way, you've already made one of the choices for those endings.
I knew it.
Maybe
she has. Yes, she has. She's in Zion. She has. Yes.
Oh, so there's a good one, there's a bad one, and then there's a secret ending, which I did. And when you do missions and stuff, this only happens when Lily shows up. There's a little bar on the top right whenever you complete a mission, and it fills up. You don't know what it is, but it just you see a little silhouette of her, and then this bar keeps going. And if you fill it up, when you go to the last mission, Lily would be like, "Hey, can we do this thing first?" And Eve will be like, "Okay," and then you do that, and then
you get some cans.
There's four cans there, 4 or 3 cans, but that mission will unlock the secret ending.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
excited. I love when
I-
games have different things that like affect outcomes.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember. I think I'm on track. for the good
Replayability just
ending.
for the 4 cans. Let's go.
And really, the good and bad ending is determined by one choice you make in the
Yes.
ending, which I won't mention.
Is it like a,
It's a very
is it
specific
like
choice.
a
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West spare this character or don't scenario?
Sort of.
Regala? Remember the Regala thing?
Yeah,
Listen,
I remember, but it's
Just
not
determines
really
if she's
like
in your party or not.
there's a choice. I don't want
There's
to.
a choice.
There's a
Okay, you have
choice.
to tell
It's
me.
a
I'll
choice.
figure it out,
Choice.
man.
It's a
Don't
good
worry
choice.
about
It's a good choice
Don't
too.
worry
And
about
you're
it.
like, oh,
You're
I
gonna
don't know.
pick-
It says, will you
You're gonna
smush
pick-
this ant shield creature or not?
The game doesn't do the like Fallout style law of unintended consequences.
Mhm.
When you make your choice, you will get the ending you're going
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I think basically.
Yeah, basically. So, and it's very apparent that you're making a choice because
Yeah.
you back up from the
Yeah,
characters and there's
okay.
2 options. You're like, which one do you do? Is it
Yeah,
this one
and you're like,
or this one?
oh,
and,
it's gonna be like kill her or kill Adam.
and then there's like,
Who do you?
and you
Side with
can
them,
hear
yeah.
your people going, no, you can't do that. Oh, you got to do that. You're like, oh fuck, what do you do?
I
And you're
do,
like, shut up.
I do wonder if they wanted more of those, but
Mm.
maybe they cut it just so the game would be more streamlined or what.
I
Because there's
hope-
not a lot of dialogue like
Oh,
that
yeah.
in the game.
It's hard to have a
Oh,
lot
yeah, I
of
don't think there is.
branching
Yeah,
things in games.
I
You have to
want.
either commit to like it a lot or not.
Yeah.
I wonder if this does get a sequel, and I hope it does because the ending of this game, at least for me, was just like, oh
Want a
fuck.
sequel?
Now I want to know what happens with my ending. That's the one I want to know because I've seen the other ones and they're not as interesting as the one I have. Like,
Yeah, it's a good
Nice.
point. Yeah, how would you because games like Devil May Cry, you just like go somewhere else and fight different demons, right? There's only
Yeah.
one Earth.
but the ending of this things
That we know of.
things drastically change,
Yes.
like drastically. Also, you get
Yeah.
to meet a very important character right at the end of the thing, and you're like, what the
Yeah.
what?
Okay.
Now's the first.
It's
Now's
gonna
the
be
time you
Inget
introduce.
Taki.
I think the
Taki
only-
reborn. Taki he has 8 arms now.
I think the real question of whether or not we'll get a sequel is how well the game sold, and it did sound like it did fairly well. I don't think we actually have
I
numbers.
feel like it sold well enough for not being like from a major company that people know. You never know with the games industry these days.
It was the second
That's
best selling game on PlayStation after its
Yeah.
launch. So that's pretty good.
Oh, that's good though. Well, maybe
But-
after our review, it's gonna do numbers, and we'll be the reason there's a sequel because play this game.
1 million in its first month.
I would tell
Ish.
people
I
to
mean,
play
a
the game
million's
just for
usually
the
enough.
opening.
A million's
Like the
usually enough.
opening alone is one of the most insane game openings I've played.
Oh shit, 1 million
was like,
copies in the first
wow,
24
like-
hours.
Yeah.
Well, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the opening
Korea's
is
rejoicing.
the opening was incredible. Like being
It's intense.
underpowered and fighting a god. Not the
Yeah.
god that happens at the end in space. But
I think my jaw was literally like open at one point where I was like,
I thought I
okay.
could beat him.
Like that was
I thought
literally
I
how
could
I ended
beat
it. I
him.
was like,
Yeah,
"Shit."
that-
Oh, God,
that-
I got really close.
We
that-
all thought we could beat him.
that Neytiba also, its jaw was dropped as well because it comes
Yeah.
off. Yeah. Anyway.
I get it. And eyeballs.
I mean, it's not really a spoiler. It's the
Yeah,
introduction
was
of the
wild.
game, right? Like,
When you were talking about
It's so good.
collectibles,
Uh-huh.
it's the costumes
yeah.
where I was like, fuck, I want every single
Outfits.
thing because your starting outfit is just like it's a little cringy. By little, it's a lot
Yeah.
cringy.
it's got a lot
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
you've
you have a
got you've got like,
Tie.
a-
It's
yeah.
like almost Sailor Moon, but not.
and you don't quite
It
have.
looks like she has
wings.
hooves. Yeah.
Yeah,
I want-
she's
I
an
want
angel.
maybe
Perpetual
Wings,
wings.
She's
right?
in perpetual high heels,
yeah, for sure.
except there's
Yeah.
no heel, so it's just
So,
a foot.
The
like
black diving
this.
outfit makes sense. I'm like, this outfit
It
changes everything.
when you
Do you
start
have the Kunoichi outfits?
probably. I'm gonna
Or like the shorter,
I'm gonna go with
ninja
yes because I have
short
all the
skirt women
all the
ones?
costumes. So yes.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause
Um,
at first I got those and I was like, what?
Well, when you start playing, you're like, well, they really went for the dead or alive physics in this game, right? And
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, which
But not the
costume?
proportions.
No, I don't know, man.
costume would better support this.
Yeah, and you're like, which one? And then like there are a couple that are really, really cool. There is a Sailor Moon-esque, like you're a sailor student costume. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll do that. But
Nice.
the Kill Bill, it actually says Kill Kill on its shoulder. And you're like, well, I'm
I
gonna
love it.
obviously do the Kill Bill outfit because that just looks cool.
Yeah.
One of the neat things this game does that I don't think I know any other game that's done this is that even though you don't have your NPCs with you all the time, you get to get outfits for them too.
Yeah. And the robot.
Yeah, I do like
Yeah.
that. And the robot, yeah, right away I was like, this robot's gonna be more armored. My boy's gotta look tough.
My
It'd be
robot
like,
at the end was so awesome because it looked like a giant bunny.
oh my god.
A robot bunny, but still amazing.
Like you have two modes. You either go super kawaii or really intense lethal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Obviously, I'm the kind of person I always like stuff to look tactical, right?
fair.
You know,
Yeah.
Gears of War or something like that. So anytime there's like kawaii stuff, I'm like, I don't want that. But like,
Orcus.
it has to be in a game
Lambent.
like this.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Like,
these
it's
guys
so-
are like the lambent.
like obviously that
It's
stuff's gonna
about
be
the
in here.
lambent.
Oh yeah, I get Sorry, I was thinking of the other one of the other ones, the bug people.
Flood.
No,
From,
in Gears of War.
Mm.
They also live
If I
underground.
can remember. They all live underground.
I
That's
suppose
how it
that's
is.
true.
My brother and I used to play the shit out of Gears of War.
Okay, so was there anything that surprised you about this game? I'm sure there's a lot, but like it's something big.
It was surprisingly big. I thought this game was gonna be a lot shorter. It felt like a Devil May
20
Cry.
hours,
Yeah, 20
right?
hours Devil May Cry
Yeah.
game. And then it just kept going and going.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it never felt boring, which was
Yeah,
good.
it didn't drag.
No.
Right. Yeah.
There are some parts when in the open world where you're just like, this is a lot of just running around. And you're like, okay, there's nothing here. The giant desert is what I'm thinking of.
I don't think it suffered from like the Far Cry or Assassin's
Wasteland?
Creed, though. Right.
No, giant desert is different. The Great Desert
Yeah.
is different
Oh, okay.
from the
Okay.
Wasteland.
I was like, because the Wasteland is where I'm going next.
Wasteland's awesome. Actually, that's the song that's stuck in my head forever, though. Is the Wasteland one because the
okay.
Wasteland was
Listen,
really cool.
Borderlands even had music like that would get to you sometimes, like that yo ho ho, like that one dude
Oh,
that
yeah.
would sing that like
That's
weird
fair.
thing. Yeah, so like
The-
if I could survive Borderlands songs going on forever,
The Wasteland was
okay.
really good because it for its map, it was the most varied. Because not only was it a giant map, but you can also go vertical in it. There's a lot of jumping in it, and I did not realize that when I got into it. And only when I went for the can search later and tried to uncover everything, I was just like, well,
like there's a whole other world here.
there are places I didn't realize you can climb.
Yeah.
And because you're not
Oh.
always looking at walls looking for the little yellow markers, but ever so often you're just like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, there's one right there. I could just jump right there. And you're like, oh. And
Okay.
there's other little things that especially when you get into the Wasteland really opens up. Like there's a storyline that follows I don't want to say a cult, but some sort of religious
Like a missing person.
like a religious
Okay.
thing, and then you find like little
Religious
temples.
sect.
Yeah, a sect. Find little temples around, and then you find out about like the people revolting against like the Oracle or Mother Sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
I've read their like propaganda posters around town so far.
it's really
So.
I really liked how much Zion was tied into the game. Like you were there to help those people, and it felt like you were actually helping those people because people would go up like, "Hey, Angel," blah, 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 blah. And you're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I guess I will listen to you for a bit." And like, "Oh, this singer has no legs. I should probably go help her for a bit." Stuff like that.
Yeah. Or where's my cat? Plot twist, my cat's dead.
Oh,
That was the first
no.
mission I did, and I was like,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was
forgot
gonna be
about
like
that.
Final Fantasy VII, where like Cloud's going around picking up all these cats. You know, I'm like, this is gonna be cute and fun. And then I was just like, this is a dead fucking cat.
It's funny because I was playing Rise of Ronin before this, and you
Yeah.
find cats in that game. I have like 80 cats in that game.
There's so many games where you find living cats.
Yeah, you find and
This is the
you
one game where it's fucking dead.
you find and adopt
I
them
don't
in
know, I'm
Rise of
laughing.
Ronin.
It was
and they're-
really sad. I was like, oh my god.
There are so
know-
many bounties here where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go find this family. Oh no, they're dead. They're all dead.
How many times did
This
you
is the
turn
bleakness.
down bounties? Did you ever turn down a bounty, or did you just do them all?
Well, there,
'Cause
you-
there's one where you like Eve just goes, "I'm not doing that."
there are two of them that do that, and one is a
Okay.
drug running one,
Hmm.
and the other one was something else, and I can't remember what it was. But
Like, they
no.
He
don't
said you
let
can call me
you
angel, but I won't be touching angel dust.
they don't let you make a moral or immoral decision. They
No.
just go, no, Eve does not make those decisions.
Yeah,
which I thought
exactly.
was a really
Nice.
interesting choice
I did
for
like
a
that.
game where normally it's like obviously in a game like Fallout, it's all about choice, right? Making immoral choices. Everything's kind of gray. This game is like, no, you're the good guy. Be the good guy. Like, you have to do well, you don't have to do those side missions, obviously. But
Yeah,
if you're
do the
gonna
right
do
thing.
them, you're not gonna commit arson. You're not gonna commit murder. You're not gonna,
They said, "Don't you Eve and dare."
Oh my god.
Don't you even
for
think
me-
about it.
So for me, the things that I guess stood out to me or surprised me
Yeah.
are one, immediately the graphics. I was like, this is like a gorgeous game, and I love saying that about most video games because like there's so much attention to detail. Whether things are AAA or like indie, like different art styles and stuff, they always end up being gorgeous. And then the fight mechanics were really cool. Like right away, I was like, oh, this is like pretty sweet. Like I like this style. Thank God they let you do a dodge roll because this bitch hates parrying for her life. I will do it if needed. If given the choice, I will always dodge roll. And yeah, the world building. I think the world building's really neat. Like the creatures and the concept. Like I mean, how many times have we seen like humanity is being overrun by aliens, or we gotta fight back and save humanity and save the earth, whatever. But it's really cool. Like the creatures are so awesome. Every time I see a Neytiba, like I want to see the next one. Like I'm like, that one was so fucking disgusting and weird. I just barely beat this one. What's the next one gonna be like? And every time a boss appears, I'm like elated. I'm like, ew, what the fuck is that? Or like, ugh. And like, you know, there's teeth everywhere. They're like half a statue for some reason. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
I'm compelled. I want to know more.
The monster design in this game, along with the setting, made me want to go like, I kind of want this to be an RPG. Like, I
Ooh,
kind of
yeah.
want a tabletop game.
Yeah.
Out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The-
like I would play a
miniatures.
Stellar Blade tabletop.
The
It
lore.
I mentioned a few times. It's like Ghostwire Tokyo in that every time there was like a weirder, creepier fucking ghost that I come across, that I'm like, ugh, like it can't get worse than this, and then there is a worse one somehow, and I'm like, oh, it fits so well in the world. So both games are similar that way.
The lore behind the Neytibas gets really, really cool. Like I got like really invested in it really close to the end of the game. You're just like, oh, I want to know more. There was something else that I can't remember. Oh, the one thing that really surprised me that I didn't think that they would do in this game is you can't skip dialogue. You can't fast forward dialogue when you're.
That is annoying.
And you're just like,
it's true.
I'm like, come on. I like the acting, but I just
you
saw.
only
I just
skip
want to.
like the cutscene.
I can only go so. I wanted you to go faster, especially when you
Well,
go
I do
back
want
and
to replay it in Korean though.
It was mostly.
'Cause I'm curious.
It's mostly like when you go to the bounty or talk to random NPCs around the world.
Yeah.
They always say the same thing. And you're just like, I want to skip this. Just let me get through this.
I'm sorry.
I don't care about you right now.
Right.
You
test,
accidentally
like,
talk to
is
them
this-
again. You're like, fuck.
Is this person going to keep saying the same thing? Or if I talk to them 10 times, will they say something else?
No, they
And
won't.
on the
Even Evil
fourth-
say the same thing when she goes to like the bounty board, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I've heard you say this about the bounty board 5 times.
Oh, this doesn't look
good.
very good. Maybe they need to upgrade this.
This is
Fucking
some
hell, I know
outdated
you said that.
technology.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's an amount of like, well, we can focus over here if we just have her say the same thing every time she goes to the bounty board here. If this NPC only has this line, because let's be like, not that big of a deal, right? Doesn't come up that much. Whereas all the other things that constantly come up, like the things you're constantly interacting with, are really
work
top
really
tier,
well.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why these are like our very minor nitpick complaints.
the variety of NPCs that you actually deal with in this game, like the ones that you have to constantly go to, I really enjoyed. Like meeting Digger, and like, oh, you haven't met Digger yet, Britt. You're so close to meeting Digger.
It's okay.
I
I met like the black market lady whose name I forget. I took care of all her
Yeah,
stuff.
the one by the bounty board. Her, she's
Yeah,
really
who
neat.
had like the prosthetic leg and everything.
She's neat. The singer lady, I can't remember her name. The little girl with the dead sister
You
store.
can say it. It's okay.
It's a dead sister store or something
figure-
like that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. The junk store, right?
Yeah, her.
She
You
like
can
took it
also
over.
get her
I've
to
already
like
met
you
her.
more.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah. I like that you can
Actually,
get the.
all the
That makes
vendors are
sense. The
like
more
that,
you
aren't
buy
they?
from people, you build like a rapport.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only one that you can't build a rapport with is the haircut dude. He just gives you haircuts, and I'm like, that's fine.
That's,
Because
yeah,
he gives
that's a mission I
fades
need
and
to do.
shade.
Because I wanted to. I was like, "Ooh, I want to." Why do I care? Because we haven't got into this so much yet. Whereas, like, I don't like the choice of like, I've got a shiny butt and I'm running around all the time. I don't like being distracted.
By the shiny
Why-
butt.
I don't like being distracted.
Yes.
Like the game is trying to draw your attention to your character.
Yeah, it's
model.
really weird. It sexualizes her in such a way that it makes you want to like look at and I'm like, I'm trying to fight. Like
Yeah,
that's
like
why when I go up and down the ladders, I purposely move the camera angle so it's not like her butt. Like, and that's just for me because like the first time it happened, I was like, okay, that was a choice, but it automatically does it every time, and I'm like,
single
listen,
time.
Yeah.
I'm too gay for this. First of all, but second of all, I'm like, I was like, I just feel weird as a woman. I'm like, I don't need to look at her.
This is
so I
why
just, like,
this
fix
is the
it,
biggest reason
even for the
why I
people
needed
watching.
Brit here. I needed not
Yeah.
someone who isn't a man.
Listen,
to talk about the
respectfully,
sexualization
could
in
she
this
get
game.
it? Of course she could.
Respectfully.
Is she also the definition of K-popification? Perhaps.
Her and her
I'm sure there's
comrades.
models that
Game-
look like that. The majority of people don't really have those that anatomy.
Nope.
But teach their own.
The game,
Not
like,
gonna
the
throw- not gonna
developers
shade
have
that body.
chosen, right, to have this.
They
like,
chose
very,
to please a certain
yes,
demographic.
12-year-old boys.
They're not all 12.
Maybe they were trying to cater to a Western audience who unfortunately fetishizes.
I
think
mean-
it probably
certain
works very
communities.
well in the East as well. I
You-
think it's
I'm
There's
sure
a
it
big
does.
market for giant pillows shaped as anime characters, right? So
It's, yeah. So
my thing. I wrote this down where I thought, well, maybe it was like when Kojima brought out Quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5, because people were like, what the heck is this, dude? Like, you've never sexualized a character this bad before. And he was like, cosplayers want to dress up. I made someone you can dress up as.
it's true.
So I
I've
thought-
already seen people cosplay this character.
as
right?
Eve?
But
There was some
but I
stuff
didn't-
like before the game drop, people did the outfit.
I
and
didn't
stuff.
nice.
see any of that from the devs, so I don't know if that's an intention or they were just like, let's make horny character model
Listen.
and then go fight monsters.
Sex unfortunately sells, so
I'm
I
not-
don't
yeah,
know
I
if
would have
that's
just
unfortunate.
slapped. Listen,
I'm not trying to give it
put a
like
cool
moral weight.
costume on an Neytiba. The little things with their face like fucking
I'm just
Demogorgon
saying
looking
it's
motherfuckers.
the choice
Give them
they
a slight
made,
outfit.
and it's the one thing in the game that I'm not a fan of. Which is so weird to
Yeah.
be like, a 35-year-old white guy to be like, I don't like it when they put sexy ladies in my game, and I'm like, I
Boobs.
kind of don't. And also it's the fact that they only sexualize the women and then
The
not
women?
the men.
Yeah.
Right.
All the men
because
in
there's-
this game
Adam is
have
fully
like
clothed.
it's true. And all the other men are like masked on and like
Yeah.
random like
Buff.
Mad Maxy looking.
Yeah. There's
people.
no He-Man in this, right? We have a lot
Yeah,
of
no
like.
loincloth.
Brett, you were streaming the other day, and you met the woman
No
at
thongs.
guarding the Oracle in Zion.
Yeah, no.
And she
When I
looks
saw her, I
super
was like,
cool.
I was like, what is going on at the outside? And the other one's a robot.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
And even
like-
the robot's more clothed than her. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is a machine.
All
And
the
she's,
women
like,
are like in high heels and bikinis
deepest
and stuff. I'm
V.
like, I
V all
guess-
the way to her
I
V.
guess if you can make whatever game you wanted, I guess this
Final
is the game
Fantasy
you would make.
level.
Like
It was
it's
like
it's,
that crazy lady that you. Oh, anyway, go ahead.
It's my only critique, honestly, of the game. And I remember taking screenshots of like parts where the game usually looks good, but every once in a while I find like a 2-bit quality like poster hidden in Zion. So when you get close to it, it's just blurry. Like it's
Yeah, it just doesn't
pixelated and
load.
terrible
Weird.
to save, right? Like so there's places where they've made cuts, but they're places you shouldn't be seeing, basically. And then conversely, like this is what your main character looks like. I'm just like, I don't.
That's because they
I
had to
can't-
use all the energy to make her ass as shiny as possible. I don't know what to tell you.
That's why they used.
You know, that's why they needed an Unreal Engine. That's
That's why
Unreal
they
ass
needed
right there.
5 just to make it even better.
They did.
Speaking of the random ass characters, what did you guys think of Adam and Lily, like as the two main sidekicks to Eve? What did you think of them?
I like them so far. I mean, I like having more people in the party. Like immediately, I was like, they're gonna join. But do I fully trust anyone
You should
other
never
than
trust
myself?
anyone.
No,
That's right.
I don't really trust Adam mostly because he's almost given himself away a few times. Where he's like, I gotta talk to you about something important. Or
I wear
and I'm
too
like,
much clothing.
What
to
is
be
it?
in this game?
And he's like, oh, this enemy appeared. Oh darn, we can't talk. And I'm just like, Adam, just fucking tell me what you gotta tell me. It's probably not that bad. Or if it is, we'll figure it out.
I say nothing.
Nobody gotta know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a huge fan of the NPCs in this game. I don't.
They mean well. They made me a
don't-
gun.
I don't have like reasons why. I just don't like their vibe.
You
It's
find them
not
annoying?
like as compelling as like Final Fantasy, like and like
I
companions.
don't like little sister characters. I'm the
I
youngest.
understand that.
I don't have little sisters. And the partnership with Adam, I feel, doesn't grow enough. It's kind of just like, hey, I saved you. Why?
Yeah, he's like, I'm a dude, and you're like,
And
cool.
yeah,
Anything
and then it's
else?
like, okay, so why are we still working together? Like, should we
I
like talk
talked to
about
you
this?
through a
Nah, let's
robot.
not talk about it at all. Like, okay,
I think it's just because you're humans and there's so few of you left that you feel like you gotta partner up.
there's just it just kind of feels awkward that there's no like more You talk to like, even though they're with you all the time, you have more dialogue with like Oracle and
Yeah,
stuff
with
like
all
that.
the other NPCs.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it just felt like, why aren't these people more prominent? Why
I
isn't
like
there?
that weird, huge samurai guy that's with Oracle.
Oh, he's
I
so
forget his
cool.
name
Yeah.
because I only talked to him one time. But he literally looks like he's from like Ghost in the Shell. Like
Yeah.
the minute he popped up, I was like, "What the fuck in the Ghost in the Shell is going on right now?"
It's like they designed the models in this game for like sideshow figures.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely,
'Cause
I could
there's
see
so
that.
many
Where
yeah,
you just get a
there's
whole
so many cool characters, and honestly, like, kind of why not?
Yeah.
Why not? It's a video
They're all
game.
definitely able to be statues.
Yeah, like everybody could do that, but they don't. So they kind of. I feel like a lot of this game's development is like, why would you do this? They go, why not? What?
I'd get an Eve that's doing that like pose like this, but the legs are like. Oh, you can't see my legs, but my legs are like this. So,
Jump.
I am standing up at my booth. Trust my legs. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah, I'd get statues.
Talking about graphics, we're talking about gameplay. We kind of talked about the plot a little bit. I don't think we want to spoil things because I think the point of the review is like, should people play the game?
Yeah, get people to play.
If you've already played the game, you wouldn't be here.
Or you could just listen to us. I mean,
I
that's
would.
I
fine.
suppose that's true. I mean, to be nice, share your thoughts in the comments
Yeah.
below.
Or just hit that subscribe button, like and
Like,
share,
subscribe.
like and
Hit
subscribe.
that bell.
Hit the bell so you get all
Ding, ding, ding.
notifications and such and such. We're talking about Godzilla next week.
So I guess, is there anything you would like to add? Is there anything you think is important to say?
This game was very surprising. I had
Yeah.
zero expectations, and I had a shit ton of fun playing this game. Like I don't understand how this flew under the radar for me, because this is definitely like a game that I would have just bought anyway. Thank you,
Sleeper
Sony.
hit.
Thank you, Sony, for sending us a review copy to play. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking awesome. It's sick. Like this game is fun. Except for the fucking turning radius. God damn it. Jumping.
A little too wide.
A little
It's
too
because
wide.
of her hips.
Yeah.
Hips don't lie.
That
The
that caboose is just too much.
It's
The
loose.
donk.
The badonkadonks.
Britt, is there anything?
I say already I'm like 8 hours in. 10 out of 10 game 10 out of 10 game of the year. No, it's a very pleasing game aesthetically, functionally. The world's cool, the story's cool. I need to know more. I want to know more about these characters and their place in it. I hope there's another game. This made
Haven't
me
even
interested
finished
in
it.
looking
You
up the
already want
studio.
another one.
The
I already
end-
do.
Yeah.
But this made me interested in the studio, so I looked up Shift Up and I saw some of the other games they made. But I hope that they make other games like this or continuing this specific IP because I think that they have a lot of potential to make really awesome stuff.
Mhm.
The best part for me is definitely the big boss battles. I think that it's kind of like God of War, where like sometimes you have to fight a boss multiple times, but when you finally beat it, it's just that like feeling. So I'm glad that you get to rest afterwards, but it's so. My Fitbit tells me every time it's like you ran a mile, and it'll be like good job, and I'm like I'm still dying fighting a boss, and then when it's finished, I'm like look I'm so like overjoyed. So it's very, very rewarding. I will say this game is so.
It's
Whether you're fighting little enemies or you get that big boss,
it's very
rewards.
rare for a developer to come out like this into, I would say, like a new arena and to hit what I would consider a home run.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, it immediately competes with other. Like I would say, if somebody likes God of War, I'd be like, play Stellar Blade. Just like take Kratos and turn it into this like kind of anime woman running around with the sword.
If it weren't for the aesthetic, for me, which is such a subjective thing. Like some people are gonna love it and some people aren't. I would put this game up with like Devil May Cry,
Yeah.
and God of War for me. But because I get to play big burly dudes in those games. I've got-
Yeah. Well, you relate more to the big burly dudes.
I do.
I get that.
I do, and they don't
It
distract
is nice
me.
to have another female character.
It is
50% of the time, female characters I play are sexualized, so this is just one of those other 50%.
I mean,
50% of
You
the
either
time
get
it
an
works
Ellie
80%.
or you get an Eve.
At least with
Ellie or
Kratos,
Eve.
you know, you got like nipple, right? Like
Oh yeah, he was honestly.
Kratos is out there.
Kratos is for the people. He had
Yeah.
nips out for Harambe, everything.
And there's a whole like naked scene with Dante in DMC.
Oh yeah, I love
Uh,
that game. So
That's a
good.
great game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
don't
like
make
this like it's very, like I said, it's just so rare that like this is like, I think this is like a gem, just like a hidden gem. Even though Sony published it, I feel like they didn't do as much press or as much advertising as maybe they should have. Maybe because Rise of the
It wasn't
Ronin had
hardcore like
yeah.
as the exclusives are. Yeah,
Um
it
Yeah,
is
it
an
feels-
exclusive. So.
It feels weird. But the game did, the game got a little bit of life online. And obviously, yeah, 1 million in 24 hours is great. If that's all it's sold, most people would consider that a success. That's really good.
Mhm.
You know, it's a $60 game, I think, American. So, you know, it's like $60 million, and it's a Sony
Yeah.
for, you know, it's Sony published, so it's just going to Sony. I think they'd consider that as, I doubt they invested 60 million in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Any
I mean, wouldn't
yeah,
have been Juan, right?
Hmm?
well, then it would be like billions or trillions, probably.
Yeah.
Um,
Numbers look great. That's all I know.
Yeah.
so yeah, just and obviously, you shared
So are we-
your thoughts there.
we said-
Now,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so I guess the last question is, you know, should people pick this game up if they've got $60? Should they go pick it up, and a PS5, I guess?
This is a $60 game. That's worth it. Like, it's not just wait for it to go on sale. I mean, you can,
Mhm.
but this is worth the $60 for sure. Like, the amount of time I've played on this game is ridiculous. Like, it's longer than it. It doesn't feel like it's longer than it should be, but it's fucking long. But it's a good long.
I started this game to do the review, and then Eric started it like a week later, and Eric's still playing it. Or
I'm
was still
done, I'm
playing it
done.
until today. Whereas I haven't quite, but I'm back in school or whatever, so
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
an excuse.
Eric was getting every single damn can. Okay.
I got every can, like 30 or 40 cans or something like that. And you're just
I
like,
fully intend to 100% this game.
yeah, you have to replay.
I got the caramel macchiato can.
You
I'm living the dream.
What sucks is you have to play this game
Frank.
3 times to get
All
a
the
platinum. No, not to get all the cans.
Oh, the
but because you need each of the endings.
Because you need
You're
each
like,
ending.
and you're like, and there's no save points, right? You just save at the chairs.
I was gonna say because then you could save and then you can make the different choice.
But you can't.
Oh, you can
because they're-
save. I've had 2 different load games.
What?
I have one, yeah, because I have a game that I was playing, and then because I knew it had been a month since I streamed, I real quick went back and I just played like the first level so I'd remember the buttons.
How did
And I
that
saved,
happen?
and I have 2 different save files.
I don't have that option.
Because if you have to manually.
How do you manually save in this game? Because you just save at the chairs.
No, yeah, you hit start and you go to save. I do it all the time.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
you could
Well,
just
because
save.
you can sit in the chair and it'll automatically save, but if you hit the start button and you go all the way over to like how you
Yeah.
exit the game, I think there's a manual save button.
This is why I
This
just
game is so
Hack
deep.
the
You were
system.
still learning.
I
Hack the
just
planet.
all I do is just pause. Like I just freeze the PlayStation, so I never leave the game. Right?
That's
I just leave it
understandable.
going the whole time. Fuck it. Oh God.
If game devs are watching, shh, no, we totally played the game 3 times for all the different endings.
Oh, one day.
I would.
I don't
though.
think they care. They're just happy.
People are
They're just
playing.
happy people played it.
There's a new game plus after you finish it. So,
Yes.
and then there's new costumes.
I love
when
a new
you,
game plus.
when you do new games. Yeah, Dave, should people play this? I think me and Britt both said yes. Wait, no, Britt, I just cut you off.
10
It's
out of
me
10.
who did it.
It's okay. You know how I feel.
Well, Britt actually paid for the game, so I think the opinion is,
Oh, I
is
did.
inherent.
I paid with my I pooled up my tip money for a while because tips have been bad. And one day when I was just feeling a little rough, I was like, you know what? Stellar Blade. And I have not regretted it. It's great. Like Eric
Real-
said, it's worth it. Every penny. I'm not even that far in. I'm just enjoying the shit out of it.
Real American dollars.
Real American hero.
I think if you
Eve.
look at Eve and you want to stare at that for 40 hours, I think you should absolutely pick this game up.
Yeah, damn straight.
There's probably some people that have spent $60 just for that.
Yeah, it's the Dead or
I'm in
Alive
it for the plot,
volleyball
though.
people. Which
I
plot?
love Dead or Alive.
There's a lot of plot in this game,
Volleyball.
Britt.
I did mention the swimsuit edition. Yeah, like in some of the outfits, I literally said, "What is this? Dead or Alive volleyball?"
There's one costume you
Level
get.
99 for the boobs.
There was something where you do this long ass like quest or something, and the reward is a bikini, and you're just like, it's literally just a bikini. I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna put this on, but
Yeah, you're like,
I'm
you'll
gonna
be in
do
my
it.
inventory for completion only.
thank you. Oh my god,
At least they don't give you like 8 different color bikinis, and you had to do 8 different quests for them.
you sort of do.
They probably could. They probably could have. I think there's 4.
Whap whap whap.
There's
There's
definitely a
4 or
bunch.
5.
It's a bikini but heels, you know, because that makes
Different
sense.
types of heels.
I wish you could call
Yeah.
them heels, because 90% of the time they're not heels.
No, they usually
Her
don't have
foot
the heel, right?
is
It's just a hoof.
like this. She's an
It's for her spins and
even-toed
kicks.
ungulate is what she is. She's an antelope.
When she first came out of the drop pod, like she stepped out, I was like, "Oh, that's a hoof."
It looks painful.
It does, but a
It's like
lot
a
of
It looks painful.
the things she does is
Tar
looks
coming out of
painful.
there, you know.
Oh my god. Oh my
Okay,
god.
well there you have it. You know, pick up Stellar Blade.
There is a
It's-
couple news things.
Oh.
For
Oh, yes.
Like
it's
the
true.
coin
They
flip
did add
animation
more
she
content.
does. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Coin flip animation, the potion animation.
Oh yeah.
It's neat.
The one thing I forgot to mention is I never used the down on the D-pad. You know, like the grenades or like the mines.
I forget that every fucking time. It's so stressful.
So right at the end, I was making a
Yeah,
conscious effort to be like, I'm gonna put mines in this boss battle, and then they would never go to
Yeah.
the mines. I'm like, fucking hell, come on, just walk to that mine.
It's also hard because it ruins your flow with how you have to like fight and block and like get ready to time attacks. Like you go to press and if it doesn't happen right away, you're like, well, I missed my chance for the grenade, and then you're like running over here.
It's true. I have
So
so
off
many
like 2
grenades.
times against one boss.
So many.
Just sell the grenades
many-
and
so
buy
many
other
fucking
stuff.
I have so much money in that game.
I have so much money. Yeah,
I never
I
run
don't
out.
even need to sell anything.
And then you can sell
Always
fish later. You have so
grinding.
many fish. Anyway.
Hell yeah.
Oh, also, so they also released 2 modes this week. They released a
Mhm.
boss rush mode, which means you can go
Boss
and
battle.
just fight the bosses and get better times. And then there was something else. What was the other thing, Dave, that they released this week? I don't remember.
I thought I sent it, didn't I?
You sent it to me, and I just don't remember.
Neither
Do you know
of
there
us
was-
remember.
There's been a
Something
lot
upgrade.
of things.
I only knew about the boss one though.
Yeah, they gave you 2 new
Two new
costumes
things?
for playing the game, and then you get the boss rush mode as well.
Maybe that was the Kunoichi ones. Maybe
Oh,
that's
maybe.
why I logged in. I had those.
that might
Yeah,
be
it's
it.
like a black Kunoichi outfit and a white one.
That. Yeah. That is true.
New nanosuits added. I think there's 3. Quality of life improvements.
yes.
If you switch to range attack mode and switch back while locked onto an enemy, you will automatically lock onto the enemy again.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that was an
also
issue.
adding an option to always show the compass and the HUD, which is actually would be nice. And they are available now. They're available as of the 24th. So there you go.
It's the 29th today as of
Yay.
for our recording. Today also in
They said
other-
Happy Memorial Day.
yes, for Americans.
Which is
For
Victoria Day for the rest of the
US,
world.
yes.
yes. For other PlayStation news, the Days of Play started today for PlayStation fans, so you can get
Yeah.
free avatars on their website. There's also also announced the PlayStation Plus games for June, which are not great.
Street of Rage 4.
Yeah.
Streets
speak
of
for
Rage
yourself.
4 is cool, but then there's
Super down for that.
AEW Fight
They're always a hit
Forever
or a miss, you know.
and SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake, which is not the better of the games.
They've also
SpongeBob
extended the time for
keeps
people
giving.
to add. Is it UFC? Not UFC. The soccer game.
FC
have-
24.
You have more time to add that. I guess not enough people added it.
Yeah, because everyone's like,
So
"Oh,
weird.
football." There's also they also have a bunch of exclusive things like there's Roblox packs. There's some PSVR 2 games that are coming out. They're for free on one of the tiers of PSN Plus. There's PS2 games that they announced, like the Clone Wars and
Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper, and then Tomb Raider Legend. Some more games that are coming to
Sly Cooper.
yeah.
Fucking love
Yeah.
Sly Cooper.
And then some
You
other
do.
things. There's also, if you don't do the PlayStation rewards, you should, because you can get free shit.
Yeah, I just realized I have enough PlayStation bucks or whatever they're called to get a $5 PlayStation gift card.
Yeah.
So they do add up.
Yeah.
Like, if you play your PlayStation a lot, like that
Definitely.
adds up, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to
Um,
start the challenges, but just go in your
Mhm.
app and just start it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. I think that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Pulling up my PlayStation app as we speak.
Do it.
I want to give a special thanks to my co-hosts today, Eric and Britt. Thanks so much for joining me.
Wait, wait,
that
wait.
was
You know what
that
we
was a
need to
lot
do?
better. What's that?
We
What?
need to promote Brit, right?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see another thing. Oh, yeah. I'm
I'm
sorry.
just giving hearts.
Well, maybe if you checked the outline like I wrote and then Britt read.
I'm reading about
Wow.
PlayStation
Wow.
now. Go, yeah, sorry.
Wow.
I'm gonna just go here.
The star of the show thinks that I can't handle hosting duty.
I just get excited.
Said stick to the script.
What's
I'm going to say an extra special thanks to Britt for joining us because she is so busy and we don't see her anymore. So go ahead.
Busy
You want,
being.
give her a follow on her socials. We're probably not going to. Maybe Eric will add them below. But Britt, go ahead.
You can follow me anywhere. You can follow me anywhere on social media as VocalTomes. It's a pun. My last name is Vocal. It's voice acting, and it sounds like vocal tones. Anyway, follow me for puns. And silly other nerdy stuff.
Her streams are quite fun. Quite fun.
Yes. We
They
like
are
to hang
fun.
out.
And you have new
Look at my
things
Twitch
coming up soon. For your
Yeah,
Twitch.
I have new Twitch emotes right now that you'll be able to start using next stream. And I'm really close to my subscriber goal, so if we have just a few more people, I'll do a PlayStation gift card giveaway, which will only work
Yay!
in North America.
Yay, North America!
That's more than
Yeah,
we do Geeks with
so-
Kids. So you should probably
Yeah,
go
usually it'll
check
work
that
in
out.
US or Canada.
I am debating doing giveaways during our streams. I'm debating it. I have a
Sometimes if I'm playing a game like Fortnite and there's a comic tie-in code, like I used to work at a comic book store, so I have comics that I give away also. So lots of fun little giveaways. I do what I can when I can. Enjoy.
All right. Well, thank you, Britt. Thank you, Eric. I am and will continue to be David. This has been and will continue to be Geeks with Kids. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care and good gaming.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.